The world is changing. We're becoming increasingly reliant on digital providers. Bed Bath & Beyond files for bankruptcy. The home goods retailer will begin closing down all its store locations. The Fed raising interest rates has placed enormous strain on the financial system. The FDIC, or Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, has begun selling its bonds inherited from the Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank collapses. The FDIC estimates it will lose about $22.5 billion from its sale of high-quality mortgage-backed bonds, pointing to a lot of weakness in the home market. To understand the commercial real estate industry, I would urge you to watch episode 865. Or just to recap it, it's a really important episode. With the rise of central bank digital currencies, people are starting to understand that CBDCs are just built on blockchain, which is crypto technology. Warren Buffett was wrong about rat poison, Bitcoin portfolio data shows. Warren Buffett is not a big fan of Bitcoin, and this position has cost his investment portfolio at least 320,000% in potential gains. We're going to see Bitcoin in the news more and more as the Bitcoin halving draws near. Bitcoin hit a record high after each of the last 3 halvings. When the halving occurs, the rewards for mining Bitcoin transactions is cut by 50%. Halvings reduce the rate at which new Bitcoins are created and thus lowers the amount of new supply, thereby decreasing inflation. The final halving is a long way off in 2140. Bitcoin's total supply is 21 million Bitcoin. It can't ever be more than this. The world is embracing digital technology, and the Bitcoin Lightning Network is 1,000 times cheaper than the Visa and MasterCard networks. In terms of commission costs, the Lightning Network makes paying in Bitcoin a reality. Due to the decentralized nature of Bitcoin, transactions confirmed on the Bitcoin blockchain take up to 1 hour before they are irreversible. Also, micropayments or payments of less than a few cents are inconsistently confirmed, and fees render such transactions non-viable on the network today. So that's why the Bitcoin Lightning Network was developed. The Bitcoin Lightning Network allows instant payments and also micropayments. On the Bitcoin Lightning Network, you can send money as little as 0.00027 cents. The Bitcoin Lightning Network can handle up to 1 million transactions per second. In comparison, MasterCard can handle 5,000 transactions per second. In comparison, Visa can handle 24,000 transactions per second. If you're wondering why Visa is more popular than MasterCard, now you know. Just as the motor vehicle posed a huge risk to the horse and buggy manufacturers. And on that note, do you know that horse and buggies, well, horses used to pull trams and buses around in the 1800s. Why don't you see that anymore? Please let me know in the comments. It's hard to believe that our streets used to look like this. And what did the horse and buggy manufacturers do when that newfangled thing called the automobile came out? What did they do? Did they say, fantastic, this is awesome, I can't wait for innovation to strike down my industry? No, of course they didn't. They fought it tooth and nail. And this is exactly what we see today with the banking industry and crypto. The banks are the horse and buggies like the 1800s. Crypto is the new way. The banks are going to fight it, and they're very strong and powerful, but they will not prevail. And why is that? Because ultimately people decide based on cost. If it's better, if it's faster, if it's cheaper, the innovation, the invention is always adopted. Our civilization will eventually leave this planet and engage in space colonization. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are leading the race at present. Digital currency, cryptocurrencies are part of this evolution. Please let me know in the comments, have you ever thought about technological innovation in this way when it comes to crypto? Web 3.0 is the next evolution of the internet from Web 2.0. We're hearing a lot about decentralization, artificial intelligence, and blockchain. The blockchain is facilitating decentralization and the movement into Web 3.0. If you were to go without your internet for 24 hours, how would you feel? Please let me know in the comments. One day, perhaps 10 years from now, you're going to say the same thing about Web 3.0. It's nice to reminisce about the past and see how things were once, but are no longer. Bitcoin is currently trading at $27,599. From our conservative projections out to the end of month, we can see that we're not really following the bearish conservative pattern down, which would have us potentially close out at around 23,500. At least not yet. We can see that we're just midway between the bearish and the neutral case, where we'd expect to close out the month around 28,000. We can also see that we're not really going up that bullish path towards 33,300 just yet. Bitcoin, crypto, blockchain, and AI are pushing our society forwards. It's sometimes difficult to consider how far and fast we've come. Some people would like to bring back the good old days and drive down the main street in their horse and buggy. But it saves a lot of time to use either public transport or a car. Or of course something else, like a motorbike. The world is changing. The only decision anybody has to make, are you part of the future or are you stuck in the past? Having a look at XRP and applying your daily three-dimensional risk management, we can map out using the CTKS method a bearish scenario, a flat scenario, or a bullish scenario. We're not randomly drawing lines on this particular chart. We're observing dynamic market structure. And we're observing it from an objective stance. That's why it's called ODMS. Again, these particular projections are conservative. XRP is currently trading at 46.25. A neutral scenario would have an end-of-month close around 44.91. A bullish scenario close would be around 56.39. And a bearish scenario close around the 39.62 mark. We do daily three-dimensional risk management because the market pays us to get in sync with it. If we don't know where structure is inside market price, we're in trouble. It can be very difficult to synchronize in with the market. As an inventor myself, I'm always looking for ways and means to give you the best quality information, to assist you to be more of a financial and emotional blessing to yourself and those you love. What I've sought to do recently is just to operationalize the CTKS code inside the charts. Please let me know if this is helpful to you. In yesterday's video, we talked about some underlying factors which could cause the S&P 500 to go up. If you haven't seen that video, I would suggest you have a look at it. It's very, very informative. Underneath these three different perspectives on Apple, we have the interaction of Stanfield levels and Stanfield zones, or SLs or SZs. The bearish scenario, and again this is conservative, for Apple is a closeout at the end of the month of 156. A basically neutral case would see Apple closing out around the 163 mark, and a bullish case would see Apple closing out the month at around 172. We're deeply into crypto in this channel, but so why do we look at the stock market? Because of the Masterclass Rule 225. Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. There's a lot to understand when it comes to the crypto market. Crypto is incredibly volatile, but when you pick up the skills of handling that volatility, the stock market and Forex are easy peasy. Masterclass students, please keep your eye on the chart that I share in TG34. We can see currently the shorts are going for it. Increased bearish momentum is coming into the crypto market. There is an expectation of a sell-off, and in yesterday's video I showed some data points, some very key data points that may have the shorts caught on the wrong side of the trade and also the wrong side of the percentage. But I actually provided a bit of a caveat. There's one thing that you should be paying attention to. Please have a look at yesterday's video. That one is episode 873. It's not a long one, but it did take a lot of time to shoot. When I look at this particular chart, there's evidence of a turnaround in terms of short-term price momentum. Please let me know in the comments, why would I think that? The reason I give you these active learning exercises, it's so important to get in synchronization with the market. If I say something, you'll say, yeah, that's cool. But if I ask you a question and then you respond, you'll think about it deeply. That deep level of thinking will change your performance inside financial markets. Looking at the greatest gainers over the past 24 hours, there's not been many gainers in this 24-hour period. Tron, Curve, TON, GUSD, which is a stable coin, Flare, Ape, and PAXG. PAXG we looked at recently. PAXG is a tokenized gold crypto that actually gives you ownership rights over physical gold with no storage fees. What a fantastic idea. I'm sure Peter Schiff would be buying that. Turning to the greatest losers, Woo Networks, Injective, ARB, Render, Zilliqa, DYDX, and Optimism. Crypto is a very, very volatile market. Three-dimensional risk management is vital that you apply each and every day. Just let the reality of price speak to you. If price moves against your position, be ready for it. This is not just in crypto, this applies to every financial market. When we look at the top 8 cryptos, we can see Bitcoin's gravity, this blue line. Bitcoin is basically down 2.11% over this period of time. What about Ethereum? It's down nearly 4%. BNB is up 4%. BNB was heavily hit, had a lot of sellers coming in several weeks ago when the SEC went after it. It went after. You could just look at it this way. The horse and buggy manufacturer went after the new shiny automobile manufacturer, which in this case was BNB or Binance. XRP is holding up really well. It's only down a little, just a little less than 2% compared to Bitcoin. ADA is down around 4%, around the same mark as ETH. Doge has been quite heavily hit. It's down about 6% relative to Bitcoin. Matic is also down. It's down around 4.5%. Solana is around 3.5% down. But the thing to note here, all of these cryptos are moving in gravitational alignment with Bitcoin. But you might say, Ken, hang on a second, BNB isn't. BNB is up 4%. Let's do something fun. Let's just zoom in on BNB. Let me know in the comments. I've just made Bitcoin's gravitational alignment just a little bit easier for you to see. Do you see any correlation, any directional correlation between Bitcoin and BNB? If you do, please say, yes, there is, in the comments. If you don't think there's any correlation, say, no, there's not, in the comments. I look forward to seeing your comments. Having taught first and second year statistics for many, many years, I've seen many people get very confused with statistical analysis. I hope what I just showed there clears up some confusion. Over time, more and more people are going to get into Bitcoin because it's a deflationary currency. Bitcoin, when compared to other fiat currencies, ranks number 22 in the world, above the Swedish krona, the Polish zloty, the Malaysian ringgit, and just under Vietnamese dong and the Singapore dollar. The thing to remember, Bitcoin has a max supply of 21 million Bitcoin. All the other fiat currencies can be manufactured out of thin air. It really wasn't that long ago that people were driving around horses, not cars. Why did we actually stop using horses and buggies? Apart from the fact that automobiles were faster and saved an enormous amount of time, there was the Great Horse Manure Crisis of 1894. This happened all around the world, and in London they said in 50 years every street in London will be buried under 9 feet of horse manure. I suppose all the cleaners were on strike. Ouch, what a terrible job that would have been too. This also affected and impacted other cities all around the world. In the same period of time, New York had over 100,000 horses producing over 2.5 million pounds of manure every day. What is the equivalent to the horse manure crisis of 1894? It's the destabilization of the financial system by fiat currencies. According to the Atlantic Council, central bank digital currencies are coming, and you can see they're everywhere. 11 countries have launched central bank digital currencies, 18 are piloting, 32 are in development, 39 are in research, 15 are inactive, and 2 have been cancelled. No matter what, the future of money is digital. If you haven't had the opportunity yet, please look at episode 873. It's a very, very important episode to look at, and it's only around 4 minutes long. Bye for now.